The 2012 presidential election is extremely tight. It may be decided in just a couple of swing states.
Historically, Ohio and Pennsylvania have been battleground states for presidents. That will be the same here in 2012. President Obama will have to win Ohio and Pennsylvania if he wants to go back to the White House.
But this year there's a new twist in the battle for these swing states.
This issue isn't a donkey election, it's not an elephant election. You can almost call it the dinosaur election.
The dinosaurs ruled the earth for 100 million years and then disappeared. Over millions of years, nature worked on this buried organic material. Eons later came man, and they discovered natural gas.
The energy that we have in the ground was really forged during the dinosaur period, and the energy in the ground right now is shale gas.
Shale gas is only a big deal in this election because of a revolutionary way of extracting it, a technology called fracking. Fracking is a very efficient way of getting oil and natural gas out of previously inaccessible rock called shale. And fracking is something that most American voters have never heard of. But guess where one of the biggest shale rock deposits in the world is? It just so happens that it covers the swing states of Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania was a virtual hydrocarbon backwater until about 5 years ago, when a technology emerged that allowed for the production of gas shale from a formation called the Marcellus. And then Pennsylvania became the focus of one of the biggest gas plays the world has ever known. It's just absolutely huge.
This has just created a tremendous opportunity for job creation, for lower energy costs, for revitalization of communities that have been struggling in this recession.
If presidential elections are about whether people feel better off than 4 years ago, the booming economies of Ohio and Pennsylvania could bring some very good news for President Obama.
This election is going to turn on how Ohioans see the economy. And the fact is that in the last 4 years, despite a terrible, terrible recession, this economy in this depressed area of the country is now not only coming out of the recession better than almost any other state in the United States, but is actually on the verge of a boom.
In Pennsylvania, the economic boom has been tremendous. We've seen over $5 billion paid out in royalty payments. We've seen over $1 billion in tax revenues to the state over the last 5 or 6 years. This has put to work over 300,000 people, directly and indirectly.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Yeah,
I don't know if our business would still be here if it wasn't for the gas boom.
If it wasn't for the natural gas, probably we wouldn't still be farming.
All the businesses are thriving. You can't find a hotel that has a room in it. The restaurants are packed. New stores are popping up left and right.
However, it seems that President Obama loves the boom, but not the cause of the boom.
Unfortunately, President Obama does not embrace fracking and the use of our fossil fuels.
Our continued dependence on fossil fuels will jeopardize our national security. It will smother our planet, and it will continue to put our economy and our environment at risk.
There's a great irony in the fact that the self-proclaimed green president might win because of a fracking boom that he may not have joyfully embraced.
He's more reliant on wind and solar and other alternatives that require taxpayer subsidies.
You got a bunch of algae out here, right? If we can figure out how to make energy out of that, we'll be doing all right.
And the greatest irony of all is that fracking, which has created an economic boom that could lead to the re-election of President Obama, might fall victim to his policies in a second term.
I'll pass a law that says 25% of our electricity has to come from renewable energy sources by the year 2025.
My only fear is that the Democratic Party will become hostage to the extremist leftists who are essentially abandoning science for a hard-edged ideological opposition to fracking.
Well, President Obama says he supports natural gas extraction, but his actions speak far louder than his words.
What EPA and primarily the Department of Energy have been tasked to do at the agency level is really come out with transition pathways away from a fossil fuel economy.
The EPA is out of control, and President Obama has said he is willing to utilize that agency to shut down things that he doesn't like. I fear that if Obama is re-elected, we will see an all-out war on fracking and natural gas, and the EPA will lead that charge.
The people of Ohio and Pennsylvania might not realize it, but re-electing President Obama on the back of their economic boom may actually bring about the end of that very prosperity.